this is Divine Sunshine. Just wrapping up before I get ready to close down the lab, as I call it down here. This is for the Divine Masculines. I've been seeing in like several readings. This is 3 of them in total with the same message, understanding that the Divine Masculine, your time is now for getting ready to prepare for your exit. Just like stage, and we're getting ready to kind of have our final bow in a play. You know you're prepared for this moment. You know that this is at the final act, and the show is starting to close down. And for you, maybe in some ways the show has to go on, but you're not going to be playing the lead anymore from where you are in this relationship or in the situation or on the job. And this is kind of hard for you to really get ready to take this final bow. I had the conversation with my mom, and I switched roles, and I tried to listen to her from a standpoint from a Divine Masculine, and having like a mother and talking to her. And I actually let a Divine Masculine come through and channel and kind of ask her some questions, like if it was me, but I let her know that I was letting this Divine Masculine get his answers to something that he really wanted to press and ask his mom, but his mom is not that supportive and ready to hear. And she said some very fascinating things. And she was like, you know, son, she said to him, she said if I was him and he was in a marriage that he knows that he doesn't feel like he wants to be in it anymore. She said to him, like, son, you know, you don't want to stay someplace where you know that both you and the other person, the love is gone. Sometimes you have to remember, she said, that those people that are giving you advice about, man, you should stay with that person, or, you know, she good, you know, you should stay right on in it, it ain't that bad, it's all in your head. She said that they don't know your situation. They aren't actually in your shoes. They don't know the struggle and the challenges that you're actually going through. She went on to say also in our conversation with this Divine Masculine that I let her talk to, that she said that you don't know if that person is waiting for you to let go too. I was like, that's a good point. They're just waiting for you to let go, and they're still holding on. Now, of course, inwardly, they're going to act like, oh my God, you know, of course, they got to save face for themselves. They're not going to walk on into it. Some of them, they don't have that maturity to go on here and say, yes, thank you. I wanted to say it too. I was wondering when this show was going to collapse and this was going to be the last act and we weren't going to put this show on the road anymore. But I was scared. Too many people was invested in it. Our friends, our family, you know, but they didn't know that, you know, the tiresome nights of you being up and the arguments and the things of knowing that some of the situations, granted, are not coming from a place, some of them might not even be that bad. It's just that you're at the point that you're saying, I feel bad because I no longer feel fulfilled in this. There's something missing. I feel like there's a hole. And with that understanding, like she said, why would you want to do that and keep that person stuck when you know you're just playing a part? You're just playing a role. You're faking it until you make it, hoping and wishing that it might get better. I asked her also as a parent, how does it feel to stay in a marriage just because you feel like you're saving face for your children? And she said that wasn't really, I asked her if she could do it all again, would she? It sounds like I say, if we had a chance to do it all again, tell me, would we? Could we? Memories like the corners of our mind. Right. So if you did have the chance to do it all over again, would you? Should we? Could we? And she was like, no, I wouldn't have did that. If I did really truly have my way, I probably would have just left. She said, you know, knowing that in her position that Dad was a very good provider, but at the same time where he was in his mindset, at that point then, although he had very good qualities such as being a provider, according to her, this is what she said, but at that time the way he was in his mindset and he being his distorted self, it would have been better off for her and for me as a parent not to be in that energy. Now, this is a person, not myself. I don't have any kids. I do teach kids. I do know over the course of my 20-some-odd years as being a teacher, and as they say, as a parent, from 8:30 to 3:30, I go through the same issues and problems. The only issue is that I don't take them home with me. They get sick with me. I have to nurse them and do everything. And so I do understand it. And I want a perspective from a mother, and a seasoned and mature mother that's been there, that's got years underneath her belt, to give her slant to things. And she was stating no. So those of you all that were thinking about staying in it because this person's a good person, this has a lot of things to offer, but you knowing that you're not really in it, but you all are fighting or not on one accord, in that way, this is from a person that's been in your shoes that said no, the staying in it is not worth it. It takes an emotional toll on yourself. You lose yourself in it. She said you might even kind of go back into it again and try it again, and still you're selling yourself short, she said, by just sticking in there and knowing that your whole heart is not in it. Your whole heart is not in playing the role anymore as that husband or that boyfriend or whatever. You're just going through the motions. You're faking it. You're finding things to keep yourself motivated. Like they say in acting, how can you be, what's my motivation? What's my objective for doing this role? And you find different things to keep you motivated. Okay, when I cry in this scene, I done cried this scene 1,000 times. What else can I do? And you get to the point that you're using, like they say, onions, or using any other kind of props to kind of help you to, cry, instead of you used to be able to cry on signal. Somebody just pretty much hit you and they say cry, and you could do it. You had to have Viola Davis cry with the snot and everything. Come on now, you're like, I can't do it anymore. I have to do that fake cry. When you get to that point, it's like that. It's time to stop. It's time to get somebody else a chance in that role to play that doleful father, that doleful lover that you no longer can be able to play anymore. It also, I've seen on 3. I've said it. Daniellleboomlle has said it. Jupiter 1111 has said it as well. When you decide to actually go after, let's say you're like, I don't want to do Broadway anymore. I want to go ahead and do television or whatever it is, whatever thing you aspire to be and to do, and everybody's like, no, the big screen is good, but you still don't feel like your heart in, and you say, I want to try something to do. I think about Oprah Winfrey. Oprah Winfrey did the same thing. It's like, why you want to stop? You don't want to be in Chicago? You don't want to have a talk show? That thing is winning. And in the beginning, so many people put out such negative things with Oprah. She leaving us. She going out there. She told us she'll never leave Chicago. She going out there to California to live, and those things like that. And for a while, she's starting her own network. Everybody criticized her. They thought, well, she crazy. That thing ain't going to be done. Why she want to do that? And now, has his own shows, still doing the same platform of things that she was doing even over there when she had the Oprah Winfrey show. She's got bigger things, helping out people spiritually. Tyler Perry, helping him springboard. With if not that, wouldn't too many people beyond just the black folks know about Tyler Perry. He opened it up for him to be able to be recognized by other cultures as well and races, giving him a platform to his point that he's branching out and he's got his own production company and things of that nature. Ayanna Van Sant over there got her thing as well. Many other actors have that been on Tyler Perry shows and have been even on little things that Oprah Winfrey has. The shows with the sugar, Queen Sugar, and all those other kind of things, shows that she's offered over there, have opened up avenues for them to be able to now having acting jobs, being recognized, that on any other place or platform they would not be able to because of these other shows and things that she's bringing to the table. Why I mention Oprah Winfrey, and that's a woman, but just in general, just that thing of trying something new when everybody else say you crazy as hell for trying to do it. How her deciding to go out of her own comfort zone was able to bless everybody else by her jumping out and actually doing that. Then it calls for everybody else to excel, to ascend. That's the same thing with you, divine masculines. And remember, divine masculine energies is housed in feminines and in females and in male human bodies. Making the decision to do something that goes against the current, the counterculture, as I put up there as today's word. Creating our own as light workers, that's what we're here to do. By us making that choice of getting out of that marriage or getting out of that situation or trying out a new job or going for something that we actually do, teaches other peoples that are around us to understand that you too can try to strive to get something much greater than yourself, like that tribe card, to get out of that as a giraffe, get out of that cut off stump of tree, which is no longer serving you, that does not have the same purpose or knowledge, and to be able to stop parroting others. A parrot is usually showed there next to the tree. What people around you is saying, you keep on packing your bag saying, I got to choose something new, but you keep on parroting and keep on repeating other things about what other people are saying to you as to why you need to stay, which keeps you there. But your new self, your future self, is telling your former self, this no longer is going to work for us. We can't stay here. This isn't our home anymore. You're too big for this. You're too big for this love that this person is offering. Some of them in the readings I've came up with, and I've seen with the karmic situations, and I hadn't brought that out, but some of these karmics are not going to change. They're not ready yet. Some of them have, I seen in one of them, they had dirt still on them, and it was pushing the divine masculine out the window, which means they still got some cleaning up to do. Some of them in some kind of ways are saying, save yourself, because I can't keep on. I can't go level up with you. Now, like my mom said, you can stay there, but eventually they're going to drag you down. And then what happens to you? You'll miss chance of divinity. You'll be divine. You have to wait till the cycle opens back up again. But then what happens to your counterpart? Are they willing to wait until that cycle opens up again? Divine confirmation. That's the question. Like I told you all before, some of you all are in the beliefs that understanding that this love is eternal. It lasts forever. But that's as my divine master tells me, that's metaphysics. Or that to him, which means that's more spiritual in the 5th. Yes, it lasts forever, but we still here in the 3D. 3D is a learning planet. And there's a lot of heavy energies around. There's a lot of things with the person battling themselves, but then they're also battling outside external things. How long are they going to be able to toe the line? Now, hopefully that they will, and they follow and they blessed, and they keep them occupied until that time. But at the same time, you have to remember that again, that they are a spirit that's also, as somebody says, spiritual beings having a human experience. But I've heard some people say we're more than that. We're just spiritual, and we're just connected to the human. So when we're kind of gambling here with time, I just want to put something on your mind and understanding that, again, we're playing a role, and some of you are divine masculines. We're in our last act, and it's time for you to prepare to make your final bow. Get the accolades, get the applause, but in some of these relationships or situations that you're in, person, place, or thing, it's time for somebody else to take over that role, because that role no longer suits you. You've played the role. Now, some of them, source is pushing you all to say we're about to close the show down. Maybe somebody bought the building. Maybe somebody said that's it as they doing some shows. Maybe that's source. Maybe the person is also the director of the thing is saying, okay, this is not gonna no longer work. We got to find somebody else to be in this. We're getting pushed in so many different ways for us, because some of us is right there on that edge, and we're refusing to be able to take that next step. So some of us, like Daniellleboomlle said, source, God is watching. The divine feminine is watching. Energy is watching and saying, okay, now what's your next move? He talked about Godsmack, being Godsmack, which means it's going to be a tower that's going to help you to make that choice, to understand that way of that. When we're talking about shows, it gets shut down. Somebody bought the building, it goes in fire, water, something happens. And say, what happened? Well, we couldn't do the show anymore because it went up in flames. So now what happens then? You got to find something else, pass back out the resumes, go back on those auditions again and try. But luckily, guess what? When it comes to love, you don't have to do that. You have somebody already knows your value, knows your acting, your capabilities as the role as the divine masculine, and is ready for you to be able to feel that rightful role, that role that you've been looking for the longest of times, that you're saying, oh my God, I got a call back on it. They say, we were just waiting for you to release that one so you could go into your rightful thing. Again, just like Oprah, you never know what stepping out on faith, how that could be able to bless others in return by saying okay and signing up and allowing the same role that you are, the same thing that you're doing, just like Oprah Winfrey. She could still be here in Chicago. She could still be a great talk show host with the book club and everything else, but she never would be able to know what her true greatness was or is, which is having her own network. That's bigger than anything. So some of you are divine masculines. You all are being talk show hosts, but you could be aiming and aspiring to own the whole network. So that means you're in charge of everything. That's what divine means. And then you can be able to help other people aspire to go on. So by you showing, you stepping out there, it helps other people around you to get into those divine relationships, or go after that job, or to be able to start that business, or to move out of that house that's been having all different kind of fixer-upper problems like that. And then you say, you know what, that's it. I'm going to go here and try my best, although this is COVID things and we on lockdown. I'm going to go try to see if I can get a house. Too many people I've seen on Facebook being able to do that during these times, going to get cars. Seeing the one of my stylist said one of her friends went and they just bought the car and turned it back in and said, I want another one. They was like, we trying to get rid of these cars. Which one you want? She like, Dad, and don't have to pay a car note till 3 months later at no interest. So you'll never know how you be blessed unless you step out there. Somebody might have told that person, say, you crazy as hell. You just got that car. You want to trade it in? Say, yup, I'm going to see what they going to do. You see how she's blessed. Just got the car and then went turned back around. Maybe I think she said she had less than 3 months. Or 6 months. It was something like that. It was extremely short. And then she went back and said, I want to trade it in. They said, okay, sure. So what you want? Because we're trying to get rid of these cars. They're just sitting here. You don't ever know by you stepping out how you could be blessed. But you've got to make the first step. And you got to be willing to take that final bow. Just like Oprah did. Shut it down. Shut the show down. Shut the set down in the production. And say it's time for me to move on to my dream. We got to be brave. Divine masculine energies. We've got to take the risk. And we got to take the final bow. All right, that's all I wanted to come and talk to you about. That came to me as a message because I see it's going across the board with everyone. Also, check out my, if you want love letters, especially when you're thinking about you might want to step out and do this, and you're not sure about how your divine counterpart, your divine feminine might think about it, please check in with me and do a love letter from your divine counterpart to you to kind of see and check in if you're unsure to see where they are in their heart space as far as loving you. It's $14. You can go to divineunisoul's11.co and that is and just order it, and as soon as I get it, I will put you in the queue and give me 24 to 72 hours to create that love letter especially tailored for you. Okay. Also, when you do that, if you want it sent to a special email, please make sure that you make note of that. So go to divineunisoul's11.co and get that love letter so it can help you to understand where you stand and maybe give you encouragement to go on ahead and take that final bow. All right, as always, stay uplifted, stay motivated, stay ascending. Namaste, namago. Love you.